Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening? It's me, your host, the Saint of the Wrestling Wire. Tonight is going to be a little bit different. It's actually going to be a lot bit different. Um, we all know we're on the road to WrestleMania. Everybody's following along. Everybody's seeing all the little intricate changes, and Cody's crying in a promo again. I'm real interested to see what they pull off Friday night with this mess. I'm still not changing my vote. Cody's not winning at Mania. I'm not changing my vote. I've got Cody losing at Mania again. Um, Not the biggest fan of losing twice in a row at WrestleMania, but it is what it is. Uh, at any rate, tonight is Fan Appreciation Night. If you would like an invite, shoot a comment right here. I'll find you on the social media, drop you an invite. You join the show. We talk about whatever you want to talk about because that's what we do. Other than that, man, what else is new? Oh, the Edge match was crazy. It was like 25 minutes. They had a hockey fight in there. That was pretty cool. I did like that. I thought the hockey fight was in good fun because they're both Canadian and all that. Luke Childers, what's up? Luke Childers, do you want an invite to the show? Is that what I'm to understand with that? Let's see here. Working on it. There you go. Invite's out. Oh, well, you said no, but I had already sent the invite. Look at that. Crazy. At any rate, uh, you think Cody wins and Rock screws Roman? Josh Simon chiming in. You think Cody wins and Rock screws Roman? Okay. So here's my thing. Bloodline rules night one. Hold on a second. Let me grab something. Perfect. Uh, blood. You got night one, right? The tag match, and if they win the tag match, you get bloodline rules on night two. So the way I see it is, uh, Cody and Seth lose. Then Bloodline rules, they all screw Cody over. Seth's losing too. Damian Priest is cashing in on Drew McIntyre, like right after the match is over. That's kind of what I got. Let's see. What else is there? Oh yeah, then Cody Rock at SummerSlam, then Cody Roman at Survivor Series, and then Rock Roman at WrestleMania 41. If I had to throw just a wild and out prediction, that'd be it. That's pretty much what I got. Just a wild and out there prediction. Um, like I say, anybody who wants an invite to the show tonight, you are more than welcome to get one. All you gotta do, send it in the chat, send it in a Facebook message. I'm not watching all the messenger chats, because there are um there's four of them. There's four different messenger chats that I would have to be constantly monitoring, and that ain't happening, Captain. So if you want an invite to the show, you just gotta let me know, and you can come on there. Loki, what is happening, Loki? How are you? I'll see you Friday night. Tomorrow night we'll be in Lenny Boy Brewing, Charlotte, North Carolina. Free professional wrestling live at a bar. One of the last crowds we had there was like 500 people. It was badass. It was really awesome. That crowd just keeps getting better and better every time we go. It's a blast. Wax Off, we were there the other night. That was real fun. We had a first time in Mooresville since 2012 apparently, for XWW. They were there. Had a solid crowd, about 100 and a half. When when you counted out everybody, because there was a lot of people still staying close to the bar, and the bar, I think one of the guys who runs the bar, I think he is the bar manager, came up to me and he was like, "Man, if I had a thought about it, I should have put a tent up and sold beer out here. I'd have made a killing." Like, yeah, you would have a beer tent right next to the merch tables. We know how to do business, guys. That's what you want. Um, Doing great. How are you? We'll be there. Fantastic. I'm doing solid, man. I really can't complain. Um, I stay so busy that I don't have time to do anything but be good. We'll go with that. I do think Little Panda has something up his sleeve. I can't say what it is though. Okay. All right. No problem. You know, you may you may be correct, man. You might be right. It would be interesting, that's for sure. It would definitely be interesting to find out what Little Panda's got up his sleeve. Besides, panda fur, bear fur, whatever you want to call it. But at any rate, AEW apparently 2 weeks in a row, solid numbers at the door. Looked like packed houses. Now, what was it by the time it was, switched over to Rampage and they did all 3 hours on TV last night? Who knows? But still, the crowd was wild. They were all about the main event for Dynamite, and then they switched over to Rampage, and it was. I remember seeing something to do with Orange Cassidy and that big cat who's from over this way, and I can't remember his damn name. Saved my life, but I remember seeing Orange Cassidy in the ring. Um, I was kind of fading in and out at that point because we were on air for damn near 2 hours last night doing a preview show for an upcoming show this weekend for Mid Atlantic Territory Wrestling. We covered their event this weekend, which is going on in Fairfax, Virginia. So if you're in the Northern Virginia area or DMV area, go check them out. They are what we would consider classic professional wrestling. They try to stay away from a lot of the what Todd said was they try to stay away from a lot of the mistakes you see made in the indies. Okay, some things, and that's kind of suspect, right? That's subject to your opinion and your interpretation of wrestling. If AEW is your thing, indie wrestling is your thing. If WWE is your thing, WWE is your thing. If that old school vibe and all that is your bag, it all depends. It all depends on what you like best. Do you like TNA best as a product? Well, Impact, yeah, no, TNA wrestling. You like them best as a product? They remind me of the old school ECW. Do you care for New Japan? It's not that I don't. I was falling asleep last night. We had, like I say, that interview went 90 minutes, almost 2 hours. So I had an earbud in and I had it playing. Uh, but I was involved in the conversation last night. Uh, let's see here. Overall, to me, it feels like if this is still Josh's question here. To me, it feels like the storylines are so convoluted that it's hard to keep up with. I feel like they've got too much going on instead of making it easy for everybody to follow along. Um, in my eyes, who has the better product on television? WWE has the better product on television, period, and has had the better product on television. That's that's period. There ain't no there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Let's see here. Luke Childers asked a very interesting question. He said, "Where is your favorite place to announce?" Okay, so there's a lot of variables that come into that. Okay, um, announcing yet again is kind of a thing where some places give you more freedom and some places give you less freedom. Some places the job is easier than others. And sometimes you got to be real quick on your feet and you got to be able to think and you got to be able to interact. Um, for example, when I ring announce for Pro Wrestling Union, Cole Maccabee, one of my favorite people on this planet. I love Cole to death. When I work for him, I feel like there is never ever anything different. Here's what you need. Here's the microphone. Thank you. And it's just it's just a very classic setting. Um, I might talk with the crowd a very little bit, but not much. Um, when I've worked with AWL, Jimmy Ward and them, I've done a bit more crowd interaction with them. Um, I've been, given a little bit of freedom to be more expressive. Uh, Jesus Christ, dude, Luke, you realize that if you counted up all the companies I've worked for, I've announced either 10 or 12 different promotions, and if I ain't passed 100 shows as an announcer, I'm really surprised. Um, XWW is one of the coolest places that I've announced because we're always it's always different. It's never the same thing. Every show feels different there. It's super hard to explain, but it's like the venue changes. There's a couple of different pieces of talent changing. The crowd is always different. And it's like, especially you got to figure, man, you're in a bar, you're with adults that are drinking and you're with kids, right? They bring their kids to the bar because some of these bars got games for kids to play too. Um, so there's like little kid games over here. There's a fire pit over there, especially in Waxhaw. That place is awesome the way it's built out. You know, we normally have 300 people out in the crowd when we're there. It's wild. So you can kind of utilize different things as an announcer. And in my case, what I do is what I call the SpongeBob humor. So I will say things that would be deemed inappropriate, but the kids don't get it and the adults do. Just like happens on, SpongeBob or some of them other cartoons. Y'all remember Our Real Monsters, or do you remember Ren and Stimpy? Good God, everybody remembers Stimpy. If you don't, that'll drastically change your perception of reality because that shit's messed up. But anyway, when you're in that area, it's like you have the ability to interact with the crowd different and talk different and even get on a different level with the audience because certain places allow you to be more personable and some places want you to be more personable, some places don't. Some places just want you to do the straight up, this is what I want, the classic style. And I love the classic style because when I first got into this, I went and binge watched Earl. Jesus, I almost said Earl Hebner. That's awful. Um, I went and binge watched Howard the Fink, and that was it. Um, I'm like, it's it is what it is. So I got real used to that classic style and I tried to do the classic style, but then as I found my own footing and got my own edge and especially the way I've explained it to people and some people picked up on it, they were like, "Dude, you look like Tony Stark." Yeah, that's the character. I try to speak like that, and I try to make some of the jokes he made or say some of the things he did, and be that uh, billionaire playboy philanthropist type of character because I'm allowed to use a character in certain shows and in certain aspects. So I try to, and it works. People dig it, they like it. For the longest time, I was cutting my goatee like Tony's. I recently changed up. Things happen, but in my book, man, it's all in. I've had great shows. I've had a couple of bad shows. I would rather tell you where I would never want to work again than me try to pick my favorite out of all the people I've worked for because I could if and this is not a lie. If my three primary promoters that I work with were running three shows or two shows a week and have one day off, like let's say we're not running Sunday, I would go to work one night for one night for the other, and one night for the other all week long. I'd never stop doing it. until my voice can't handle it, which, that's a given and that's going to happen. But I've I'm not going to pick a favorite promotion or place uh, to announce. Every one of them has a reason why I love being there. But like I said, now you want to talk about places I don't want to announce. If I never go back to Clinton Lawrence area again, I will be perfectly acceptable with that. Um, and yeah, that's primarily it. There's a couple of promoters that want nothing to do with me because whatever reason, they thought some of them thought I was overpriced. Uh, Sorry, Charlie. I don't know what to tell you there, but in the grand scheme of things, that's pretty wrong. What's the old saying there? Cheap ain't good and good ain't free. Something like that. Cheap ain't good and good ain't cheap. Something like that. I think that's close to it. Let's see here. Mooresville was a very different show, in my opinion. The layout was different. It was way more, to me, it was more tame. It was definitely more tame. That crowd didn't know what to make of us, but they had a good time, so that was cool. I think that if we get up there more often and do more with them, I think the crowd's going to grow and get more into, oh, these guys are insane. You got to come check this out. These people are nuts and they're awesome and they'll hang out and they'll talk to you. It's not like they don't act like them people on TV. Let's see. Thunder, I appreciate that. I really do. It is one of those things where I try to be decent, respectful of everybody. Um, and in some cases it's not good enough for other players. And I'm not speaking about you when I'm saying that, but it's not good for the other people. And in that case, they learn not to like me, and then all of a sudden you hear a bunch of rumors and boo boo the fool and all this and this uh, coming my way. It's happened. I've had to cut people off that I got money. I got them paid and had to cut them off because of disrespect on your boy. So it is what it is. Uh, and yeah, of course, I actually will tell you, young Luke Childers does a fantastic job. When he gets more time in the ring, more time on the mic, and just more time being comfortable with it, which experience gives you that time. Because if you look at me in the beginning, I was stiff as a board and I was not that good. And I got no problem admitting it. But that's because I was young, or I wasn't really young, but I was younger. And it took me a while to find my footing and figure out who I am with that microphone in my hand in that ring. Um, you guys watch on the XWW app. That is fantastic. Everybody out there, you can subscribe to the XWW app. It's like $5 a month or $7 a month, and you get a boatload of professional wrestling on that. It's available on Roku, ExtremeTVOnline.com as well. Let's see. Oh, I am happy to be y'all's favorite announcer. Really am. Yes. See, I love Howard the Fink as well. I think he's, that's the legend. He is the one that everybody who is an announcer, if you didn't go look him up, you're mistaken. Look, I'm being corrected by the voice of XWW. This is the head commentator, Dom Douglas. $4.99 a month, and the first 5 days are free for the XWW app. Let's see here. I will join. Oh, I have got somebody who has offered to join the show. This is going to be cool. Fan Appreciation Night is underway. Remember, if you want to join the show, all you got to do is send me a message or say it in here, and I'll say it in the chat, and that way I can send you the invite. I'll know who it is, because not everybody's got my personal Facebook. I'm surprised almost everybody doesn't at this point. But whew, that was a lot of things there. Because Luke had that was a really good question, Luke. That was probably, that's one that we could have done on an interview, but we're not going to do that one now because we've already done it. So, But either way, I'm sticking with Roman retains at Mania. Let me hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Go ahead and send it in the comments. Um, and then, I got a guest who's going to be popping in shortly, I believe. After that, if I got more guests, I got more guests. We'll keep going. If not, we'll talk about what's coming up this weekend because I got to make sure I got all my pictures for this weekend too. Um, because we had, like I say, we had MATW on last night to talk about their show. It was wild. We had that was a solid bunch of information there. Uh, you know what I love about having guests that like to talk? I have to do less work. So essentially, it's like free money for me. Uh, the more my guests talk, the less work I have to do. It's great. That's called smart business for people that needed to know how it works, um, or at least how I work. Let's see here. What is this? Brew Capone said, "What's up, brother? How you doing, man?" Um, you think Cody and Seth should lose first night, second night, bloodline rules. Cody wins with a bunch of interferences. Okay. And I get that. My thing is, I cannot see them. And this is what I had to explain to somebody at my office in Greenville the other day. Because they asked me, who's winning WrestleMania? And I'm like, which night? Which match? I'm like, dude, it's 2 nights and like 20 matches. What are we talking about here? Uh, so all of a sudden, we got to talking about it, and I'm like, look, if you're talking about Cody, he said, I think Cody's going to take it. I was like, well, that's all well and good, but my thing is this: do you really believe they're going to have Roman Reigns being the closest person to Hulk Hogan's record in 40 years and not overthrow it? I don't know, boss. I think that's going to be the thing. I think that's going to be the thing, man. That's kind of my trick. I feel like you got him this close. We've got to have him doing their you got to have them doing their stuff. I did not know Majestic Marie was going to be on tonight too. She's on tonight covering a I'll share that so people can check it out. Peaches and Power Bombs is on tonight for a special night, but they're covering a upcoming event in Georgia, June the 8th. It's the Birthday of Champions, which we'll talk about because I got the inside track and we'll be there. Brew Capone says Seth and Cody lose night one. Roman and Rock have odds during and after the match, which will put Cody over at night two. Okay. And I get that. My thing is this: Cody loses night two. Cody Rock SummerSlam. Cody Roman Survivor Series. Survivor Series, Madison Square Garden. Very significant point there. Madison Square Garden. It's the same arena that Dusty won but didn't win the title in. And that gets you past Hulk Hogan's reign. I just think about long term things. If you can say that, now that, hold on, there's another thought. There's another thought. What if Hulk Hogan comes out at Mania? It's cold in Philly, so I don't know if my man wants to go up there from Florida because he's down there in the Clearwater, Tampa area. Uh, I know he ain't in wrestling shape and he ain't in any type of shape, but could you imagine him showing up, walking out, and maybe throwing a big boot at the Rock or something? Uh, he could probably get his foot up high enough to at least clip him in the stomach or the chest. That'd be wild. See, there's so many things that we don't know could happen. Austin could come out and mess this up for the Rock, and Roman. There's a ton of things that it could be. So, but that's how it goes. But yeah, it's back to one thing earlier. It's not like I don't. It's not that I hate AEW. It's that I'm just not the biggest fan of their product, so I don't watch a lot of it, or I don't watch it very intently. I try to stay up on everybody's stuff, so I'm at least current and can hold a conversation about any company. But right now, especially right now, you know, I got a ton of bookings and appearances to be at. I have a full time job. I got 2 kids to worry about. It's like there's only so much time in a day. What I have ended up doing is taking and listening to uh the shows in the background. Like I'll throw them on and listen to it like it's old school, baseball game or whatever when you're going down the road and listening to baseball. How long ago did that happen? Or I think the most recent thing I remember hearing on the radio was a race. But anyway, you can do that, or football game. You can do that and still keep up with it. Luke Thompson, what's up, man? Hey, listen, I sent somebody your way earlier, and just in case he didn't, you and I'll be sure to put you in contact with him. Uh, Definitely somebody you want to have a conversation with. Uh, but I don't know, man. There's so much content out there. I would rather not waste my time on things I don't enjoy as much as well. Like I say, I try to keep up to be current, but NXT is a blast right now. NXT's got some of the best matches. Got to see Sol Rucka the other night. She was awesome. Uh, Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. That story's going great. What I didn't understand was Gallows and Anderson. I did not understand why the OG club, the OC, whatever, is in NXT. Like, why are you here? That's a bit, like, to me, that's just a bit much. Man. Hey, no problem, sir, and means a lot. My car quit today. Well, luckily, what I have for you to do does not involve your car. Pretty sure you can figure out what it is. Doesn't involve your car, it probably involves your computer or your phone. Hey, because if you didn't know, Luke Thompson does designs. He does flyers and all that stuff too. Um, he's even made some of ours. Let's see if I got. Let's see. Hey, Luke, I think you're guilty of this one. I think you did this one. Let's see here. Did you make this one, or did you make this one? I forget. I think this is the one you made. We had a couple of them. Yep. See, yeah, definitely. So my guy right there does graphics. So if you need graphics made, you need posters made, you need flyers made, you need logos made, you need anything, get it, Luke Thompson. That'll be 10% on the commissions. I'll get you my info. Um, so you can, nothing's free in this business, is it, Luke? I'm just fucking with you. Anyway, that's that's the type of people you want to work with. Is people that you can actually crack a joke with, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, that guy's an a hole," and go on from there. A hustler. No, businessman businessing. That's what we do. Businessman businessing. Um, but either way, I think one of the worst things that they did on AEW this week was they gutted Eddie Kingston. Really? You're gonna gut Eddie Kingston? Why are you gonna have him lose to Okada, the Rainmaker? Unless they going to do this. Is there a way to put Eddie Kingston in AEW's world title picture? I'm still owed 2 cigars on that bet, by the way. I'm still owed 2 cigars on that. So right now I'm okay. I don't need to collect. I got some killer Aladinos and some great Partagas in the humidor. I'm set for a while. Um, it's just a thing. Teddy Long came out to call that business match, tag team business match. There you go. And they could have extended that. Right. They could have done something different. I feel like they pulled the trigger too early on that. Uh they didn't need to go immediately into Okada having gold. My opinion. You're gonna put if you're gonna put the heavyweight title on him anyway in the next 2 years or whatever. Why would you do it now with Eddie's title? Like I get everybody's got to lose their belt, Eddie Kingston included, but at the same time, do we need it right now? Did we need that last night? I don't know. Me, I would have said more. I would have done something else. That's not what I would have done at all. Trios titles, maybe. I'd have done that because that would have been fun to get their little gimmick over. You know, them two and him versus Billy Gunn and and that crew. That would have been one thing. But what do I know, right? I think that might be part of that continuity issue I have with AEW. I feel like they don't have as much storyline continuity as some of these other companies. Um Oh Lord. I swear I can't get away from certain things, but it's all good. Anyway, is this what we got? What other questions you guys got? I know people out there have got to have questions or got to have statements, got to have opinions, got to have anything. Because if you ain't got nothing, I'm moving into the photos of what's coming up and where you can find me or where you can find David Estacado. Who, yes, I didn't do the producer thing. David Estacado's not here tonight. David Estacado is on the road because he's got to get to an appearance and a meeting and a couple of other things. The guy is on there. What match in AEW hasn't happened that you want to happen? Match in AEW hasn't happened that you want to happen. Okay. So I'll actually go ahead and name three because maybe I'll get away with one of them being something that hasn't happened yet. How about Swerve and Kenny Omega? I think one on one that'd be pretty fun. How about Eddie Kingston, Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega, and Samoa Joe as well? Those three. Hopefully, one of those has not happened yet. You want a four-way with Okada, Omega, Danielson, and Osprey. Oh, so you want 75 false finishes, 131 super kicks, 17 Canadian destroyers, and 49 tope suicidas. Gotcha. Gotcha. 100% gotcha. If not Cody, who do you want to dethrone Roman? I don't have anybody else I want to dethrone Roman. There's nobody else that it makes sense for right now for that to happen. As over as LA Knight was, wasn't his time. Didn't make sense. And people were like, "Oh, he should have won." Why? Because he was a popular merch seller. Uh, here's kind of the once Cody wins it, I don't know who I want to see take it from Cody or who I want to see Cody go against. I wouldn't mind seeing Gunther challenge him. I wouldn't mind seeing Gunther challenge Cody, not Roman. I don't want to see Gunther and Roman. I don't know why, but I don't think that'd be a good matchup at all. Because you're going to have to pace Gunther down to Roman's level, to Roman's speed. Roman can go and Roman's quick. Yes. Roman don't need to fly. So you're going to have to bring Gunther speed down to match Roman. See, that's the thing. So many people have said over the many years LA Knight has been a wrestler that it's not his time. So that wasn't his time. That wasn't his time. To be quite honest with you, you want to talk about people that never wore the heavyweight title who should have? I mean, if you ain't talking about Owen Hart, Scott Hall, Roddy Piper, Jerry the King Lawler, I got 5 right there that just about whoops the ass of everything anybody could ever say. And by main world titles, I'm talking NWA, WCW, or WWF, WWE. I'm talking about those 2 predominant companies. I'm not talking about the AWA and all that shit because, dude, every Tom, Dick, and Harry here in the Indies has a world title, and it's like you ain't left the state of fucking Ohio, but that's a world title. Got it. And I'm using Ohio as a statement, not anything in particular. You see what I'm saying? If you ain't even traveling the country, have you left and defended that bitch in the East Coast? That's not a world title. Now, if you call it a heavyweight title, it's a little bit different ballgame. Or if you call it your company's title, that's a whole nother ballgame. The WWE champion, the WWE WWF champion. You were just a champion of that company, but it was the biggest prize in the game. It overthrew the world title, whether people want to admit it or not. It overthrew Big Gold. It really did. LA Knight, maybe do something with him and CM Punk would be fun. That I could see. Because the way I got that, I got the world title going a different way. The WWE World Championship. I have Seth Rollins losing to Drew McIntyre, immediately getting cashed in on by Damian Priest, who will lose his tag titles the night before. Because, see, that match is night 1. Night 2 is Seth's match with Drew. And they'll probably open the show. If I had to guess, that'll be the opening match. Drew wins. Damian Priest cash in. Battle back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Punk will be back in time for Money in the Bank, I think. I think Punk will be back for Money in the Bank. So my prediction is Punk will either win Money in the Bank and that's the night that Drew will win the title back from Damian. Now, Punk's got the briefcase. He's already cashed it in twice successfully. First person to ever cash it in 3 times successfully. That's something that would never get broken. That could never get touched. 3-time Money in the Bank, 3-time cash in, 3-time winner. That's got money written all over it, in my opinion. I like that idea. So after he wins it, then you can have this influx of other talent coming in there. Whether you're talking about LA Knight and CM Punk, I think would be fun. The promos alone would be great. So let's not kid ourselves, guys. I think that would be really fun. Let's see here. Do I enjoy the Rock Roman Cody storyline? Of course I do. Everybody does. It's probably one of the best stories being told in wrestling right now, if not the best. I think it's getting a little out of pocket, but the whole bloodline storyline itself has been an epic saga for years now. It's good shit. Damn it. I knew I should have got a tea so I had some caffeine. Getting a little tired. But at any rate, man, I sent out the invites to people to join the show and everything. Because there were people that were like, they were messaging me or whatever. So I sent them the invite. At any rate, so if there's nothing further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell y'all what we got coming up there that you can find us at, where you can see us. Start making your plans now because we got stuff stretched out all the way into September. That's right, your boy's booked all the way into September. This weekend, Saturday night in Fairfax, Virginia, you have got MATW Wrestling at the J. Bell time 7 p.m. That's at the Jewish Community Center in Fairfax, my old stomping grounds. June 8th. Yes, I'm getting to June 8th. I'm getting there. Don't worry. This weekend, also, we have coming up Extreme World Wrestling's Survival 2024, March 22nd. That's tomorrow night. For those of you who don't know how to look at a calendar, it's tomorrow night. It says 21 right there, right now, so that means tomorrow's 22. 7 o'clock showtime. This is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Free show at a bar. This will be available on the Roku network, but if you have the ability to be in Charlotte, I really suggest making the trip, checking this out, because as you can see, JD Drake and Cam Jackson 1-on-1. That is going to be a fun matchup. April the 6th, coming up quicker than you know. Battle of the Belts in Matthews. I can't wait for this one. 4 p.m. start time. That is WrestleMania weekend. That is the only place you will see me WrestleMania weekend besides sitting in front of the TV to watch Mania. But if you're in the area, April 7th, there will be a WrestleMania watch party at the Carolina Steel Sports Bar, hosted by Cam Jackson, Manny Mack, and Jack Wiley. Food and drink specials. WrestleMania starts at 7 p.m. That is April the 7th. Coming up after that, April the 12th, the following weekend, we're back at Lenny Boy for Wrestle Revolution. Alexander Kane and Cam Jackson. Are they trying to kill Cam? What are they doing to my guy here? Then we have Battle of the Belts. This is April 20th in Matthews. XWW's just stacked out like the next 3 months. They just laid a boatload of shows out for everybody to go check out. Free admission. This is Small Bar in Matthews. This is going to be wild for the Matthews Cup. This show has been postponed currently. I'm waiting on the new information so that I can relay it to everybody, but that's IAW Quest for the Gold. What I understand is they had some issues with the Boys and Girls Club in Manassas. Something happened with that venue, so they're trying to rectify that situation. Coming up June the 1st, Ring of Fire Wrestling, Champions of Fire 2. For the Ring of Fire heavyweight title, Frankie Kazarian, Spotlight Scotty Brooks. This is going to be crazy. I unfortunately will not be in attendance for this event as I have a prior engagement. June the 1st, AWL, CPW, and NCW come together to present the Norton Lewis Memorial down in Union, South Carolina. You saw there WCW's own legend Lodi. Merc will be in the house. The Outlaw Randy Wayne. And flying in from Las Vegas, Nevada, Santana Jackson will be in the ring as well. The birthday of champions is coming up. That's going to be June the 8th in Marietta. So here's how this went down. A whole bunch of people in wrestling were like, okay, yeah, we're going to show up for our buddy's birthday party. Then all of a sudden, somebody said, hey, don't be surprised if a wrestling ring shows up. And now it's turned into a whole 2-day thing. It's going to be insane. I will be there both days, 12 to 3. You know, I might have another booking that night. I just might. 12 to 3, that's on Saturday, June the 8th. Coming up in September, Parade of Champions will be there. Referee Jared Fritz from the NWA will be in the house. As you can also see, we got Landon Hale, Chase Emery, AJ Kazana, and the Pro Wrestling Union United Heavyweight Champion, DHNHD, Drew Hood. So, guys, there's a ton of stuff going on with all these shows. With Parade of Champions, anybody who's interested, there is sponsorship opportunities. One of the other sponsors for that is Wrestling Road Stories. Be sure to check them out on social media as well. The training that was set up for March has been moved to September. Just waiting on the newest dates and location for that one. Let's see here. I made the first prototype of Norton Lewis Memorial logo. Dude, that's awesome. Yes, it's 7th and the 8th now. 2 days. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm coming in Friday night, staying overnight, and then heading out the next day. Because of how big this thing got. I just need to I've got to really be peculiar about whether I can make 2 shows after a 4-hour drive. That's a possibility because that's how it happens. Landon Hale, DC is awesome. Yes, he is. Landon Hale is fantastic. It's always been a pleasure working with Landon Hale. At any rate, folks, that's what's going on. That's what's coming up. You know where to be. You know why to be there. We're going to have great professional wrestling. We're going to have great food, great drinks everywhere we go because I don't mess with no shit shows no more. Everywhere I go is a good time. So if you want to know where to go to not be at a shit show, you just follow me and you go meet me there. That's the way. This is the way. And I swear to God, it's not a Star Wars. At any rate, folks, thank y'all for tuning in. It's been a great night. It's been real. It's been fun. And hell yeah, it's been real fun. And I will see you, Indies.